Today I'm going to be talking about Catalina Island. So I recently had my first trip to Catalina Island and I thought it would be great to share what I did, some tips and tricks, and then leave you with a little vlog clip situation at the end. So what can you expect? Well, first you're going to get on a big boat with hundreds of people and you're going to take about a 90-minute ride to Catalina. Then when you get off, there is a straight street with lots of gift shops and restaurants. There is a beach, which by beach I mean it's basically like flat dirt. And then you can climb down the stairs to get to the ocean. You can bike this, you can use golf carts, which you can rent there. I hear they're pretty expensive, it's an hourly rate. The Yelp reviews are terrible, saying that you could treat the golf cart really nicely and they still charge you extra, and if you're even a minute late, they charge you for the next hour. So we didn't do that, but that's something you can decide if you want to do. Everything is totally accessible by walking. It's not that far of a walk, it's completely flat. There's beautiful views of the ocean. There's a huge building that has all different functions, including a theater, and that's kind of the main beautiful landmark to see. You'll arrive in the city of Avalon, and apart from Avalon, there isn't really much else to do or places to go. Avalon is the main city. So what we did is we got on the boat and then we walked around. We were immediately hungry, so we went to this pancake place that was right off the boat. And because the boats only come in the morning and only leave in the evening, all of the tourists are coming at once and the restaurants get really packed right at the beginning. So I would recommend eating before you go, so that way when all the tourists are in the restaurants, you can do something else, and then when they're doing something else, then you have the restaurant to yourself. So that is my hot tip for you on that. Now the pancake place, we did have like a 20 to 30 minute wait, so we walked around the gift shops. I was pretty underwhelmed about the gift shops. It wasn't anything that excited me. There was one store that had I think it was handmade, beautiful paintings and stuff, and it was very under the sea, mermaid themed. That was really cool. But I just didn't feel like spending a lot of money, and those things were a little more expensive. By the time we got into the restaurant, it was packed, and something that just really stuck out to me was that there wasn't any interior design. Most restaurants will have a theme, they'll put things on the walls. This place was just really empty as far as design goes, and the tables were crammed together. And then it took a long time to get our food, and then once we got it, the waiter was never coming to our table ever, probably because there were so many people there, and the food was cold, and I thought that the whipped cream was butter, so I put butter all over my food, and it was pretty expensive. So I'm not a huge fan, but I did get to eat, so that was nice. Then we had time before our tour started. So the tour didn't tell us in the confirmation email where to meet for the tour, so I called them. And that again was a situation where I didn't get someone very nice on the phone, and she just kept telling me to look for the brown building. So I was standing in front of a brown building, but she said that wasn't it. And I asked her for an address, and she said there wasn't an address. So we kept going back and forth, and then she hung up on me. So that was a little nerve-wracking. But moral of the story, if you're going on a tour from any company, really, as soon as you get off the boat, there's this little village of windows. You kind of have to go inside to see, but there's a bunch of glass windows, and that's all the different companies where you can buy tickets from, but that's also where you go to check in. So if you're confused like I was, that's where you go. So while we waited for our tour to start, we kept walking down the street. Like I said, we decided against the golf carts. We went to the beach, and luckily I had brought a towel. Then we got a snack of ice cream, which the ice cream was pretty good and pretty reasonably priced. And then we went to the tour. So now you know where it is. It was, again, a very interesting experience. I went up to the window. A guy was there, but he didn't open the glass window. He just like stood there staring at me and then like yelled through the glass. So that was weird. But once I said my name, he put the tickets through the tiny little crack in the glass. And I was like, okay, I guess we're doing the right thing. Then he left his little booth, he waved over, and there was like a large car / bus on the streets away from us. Once we got onto the tour bus, one of our friends actually couldn't make it, and even though it says no refunds on the website and the email, he gave us a refund. So, haha, shout out to you, that was wonderful. The tour was great. It was probably an hour, I would say, and you could tell this tour guide had said these same lines over and over and over again. However, it was still good information, and I felt like we really got a good sense of what Avalon and Catalina Island was. He talked about the bison and the famous family that founded the whole thing. He showed us some of the mansions. We got to see a fox, beautiful views. He was driving up a windy road that had drop-offs, and that was scary, but he did warn us from the beginning and told us he'd be going at only 5 miles an hour. So by the time we were done, we grabbed another snack and then we headed to the boat. The boat experience. Let me tell you, I try to always get places early because I hate being stressed out. But the traffic was insane that day. Like, I almost got in so many car accidents. I was driving my friend and she got car sick, and she never gets car sick because that's how crazy I was driving, because the traffic was insane. So that early in the morning, I'm trying to cross through basically 2 counties to get to where I need to get to, and everyone's going to work at that time. So either plan in advance to leave hours and hours early, or like stay the night in town or something, because that was a lot. Once we arrived to the boat to go to Catalina, the parking lot is by the ocean, but you have to walk away from the ocean to get to the boat. So once we finally did get there, I was looking at the ocean like, I don't see any piers. This makes no sense. And we almost missed the boat, and it would have been tragic. But you literally see the ocean this way, and you turn around and you walk that way, and that's how you get there. It won't make any sense till you get there, but that's how you know. There's also like a huge map on the pier, so that might help too. If you don't get on the boat early, you're gonna have to stand, and standing for 90 minutes isn't a lot of fun. But then on the way back, we were like, okay, let's get there like 30 minutes early. Even though we got there 30 minutes early to the boat ride coming back, there was a huge line, and we were still at the end of the line. And then once we got on the boat, we ran to the top deck, and luckily we got somewhere to sit. But again, like, there's just so many people on this boat. Get there an hour early, both going to and from Catalina, because you don't need the stress and you want to be able to sit down. Some other things you can do in Catalina that we didn't do is you can go zip lining, you can rent a golf cart, you can rent a cabana on the beach, and you can also go snorkeling. Something that we decided to do once we got back to the mainland is we checked out this restaurant called Requiem. I had seen it on Yelp, and it's like a fantasy restaurant that has like really amazing decoration. Like, they went all out, and all of the like drinks and the food is all themed based on like famous video game characters. So that could be a really cool place to check out. We went because this was like my birthday trip, so we wanted like an extra woohoo at the end. But I set reservations twice online and got no confirmation. So then I called them, and then when I arrived, they still didn't know I had a reservation. So reservations aren't their forte, but I would still recommend going. It's still really cool. Also, if you have any kind of like discount membership, I would recommend that for the boat tickets. So I think Working Advantage is a website that has it sometimes. There's also another one which I will post here. Just if you have, I don't know if Costco has it, but if you have any kind of membership that offers discounted deals, there wasn't anything on Groupon, but I would recommend that because then you get like a 10% discount. And also I got a discount on the tour tickets, and that was on their website. If you just scroll down on the homepage, there was like a discount code there. So a little bit sneaky, but definitely take advantage of that. Alright, so that was my Catalina trip and my Catalina tips for you. So here's some clips of the trip we went on.
Let me move up. Hold on one second. I'm going to move up a little more so you can get a better view. I had a tree there in the way.
That's crazy.
How's that? The bald eagles tend to nest over in White's Landing, Cove, and Canyon. Early on, when the Nature Conservancy took ownership of the island, scenic overlook, the city of Avalon. There you are. Now you're free to stand and take pictures. If you look straight ahead, that's Mount Ada, named after Ada Wrigley, wife to Mr. William Wrigley Jr. He is the Wrigley who made the fortune for the family.
Do you do pottery, Space?
I would, but you need like a wheel and stuff. Am I in this? Are you in this? I never know whether people are playing it open, like if they're going that way.
I have so... Alright guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss a video, and I will see you next time.